If it ain't about money. I wonder if I could do this. That really doesn't do anything. Okay, YouTube, it's me. Guess why I'm back? It's because Mad Men is almost over. I don't know if they said 5 more episodes or what, but yeah, this is the second part of the final season, and I've come back to do a recap. I haven't been doing YouTube a lot lately, just because of various reasons, but I feel obligated to finish out this Mad Men show because I just love it, and you know, I've been doing a pretty consistent job of doing the recaps, so I'm here. Part of the reason that I shouldn't be here is because last night was kind of weird. Obviously, you know, we had Easter stuff that we did. That was took up most of the first half of the day. I know I got back home at like 5:30, and your boy was tired. Okay, so I just laid down, and by the time Mad Men finally came on, I could already tell that I wasn't going to make it because I was just kind of like barely keeping my eyes open and you know, whatever. So I fell asleep, and I thought that I totally missed it. But my station was on AMC that whole time, and I guess they just played them back to back to back to back to back to the point where I woke up at 1:30, and it was just coming on. So I was like, awesome, I get to see it. And so yeah, I got to see it, and yeah, it was so awesome. Yeah, it was so great to see everybody again. You know, so happy to see Peggy and Joe and Joan and even Dawn, and you know, just Sterling and everybody. It was all great to see them. Like I've said pretty much in all of the season premieres, though, it was kind of slow. It was also kind of weird. But I also have to admit that I kind of took a break in the middle of it. Break. So I missed something. I think I might have missed maybe like 6-7 minutes of it. But I think that I missed something that was very important. But you guys can let me know if it was important or not. So this recap is going to be a little bit weird. I might be missing some information, but bear with me and we'll get it all together by the time the next episode comes on. So let's start out with Peggy, because I really do love Peggy, and I feel like I went hard on her when she had that affair with Ted on my recaps, and I was maybe a little bit harsh on her, but I still love Peggy. I feel like I was thinking about it last night, and I definitely feel like, you know, she is the counterpart to Dawn as far as who the show is about. You know, when the show started, she was just a secretary. She was just coming in, and just look at how far she's come. Not only with her career and her title, but just her confidence and her, you know, she you know, she understands who she is now, and she understands what she will tolerate and won't tolerate. So I really, really like that about her. Oh, that's a quiet train. You probably couldn't even tell. So it was great seeing Peggy. Not much really happened with her. The guy Mathis, you know, who works under her in the art department, he, you know, told her that he would like to set her up on a date with his brother-in-law. He told, you know, Peggy that she was a catch, and she was like, thank you, I know. That was really cute. But at first she says no, that she's not going to go on the date, and then for some reason she decides that she's going to go on the date with him. And yeah, the guy is cute. He's really cute for her. I mean, he's cute. He's a cute guy. He's not, you know, super extra attractive, but he is very attractive. Does that make sense? He's cute. And, you know, at first the date was kind of weird, kind of awkward. You know, he ordered lasagna, and they gave him a veal, and she was kind of getting on him about, well, you know, why don't you just send it back? And he doesn't want to be complicated. And she made some mention about how she started out as a secretary, and he kind of had some kind of weird reaction to that. Oh, that's surprising. But anyway, they ended up having a really, really good date. She was talking about going to Paris and, we should just go book a flight right now and we should just go. So, I guess they did book the flight, but she can't find her passport at her house and he's all kissing on her and stuff. And she kind of tells him to back up and he's like, oh, well, what were you expecting us to do in Paris? And she's like, well, you know what? I thought you were just going to be a fling, but I see that this might be something more, and I don't want to have sex with you the first night that I met you. So let's back up, and let's do this Paris thing in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, very cute. But then when she gets back to the office, she's a little hungover, and I don't know, she kind of tries to downplay the event, even though, Mathis's wife told him that, they talked about going to Paris or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. I think he's a really cute guy. I think he looks good with Peggy, and we'll see what happens. Peggy hasn't had the best of luck with men, but hopefully maybe they'll give her a happy ending for the end of the show. So that's Peggy. Joan, I missed a lot of what happened with Joan, to be honest. I know that she took a meeting with, I guess it's a pantyhose line, and they're competitors to the pantyhose egg thing. I remember those. I don't know if they still do those anymore, but I remember seeing those in the 80s. Yeah, like Walgreens and sort of drugstores and stuff like that. So anyway, Joan and Peggy are in the meeting with the pantyhose people, and they're telling them that this egg idea is really taking off for this competitor, and what are we gonna do? We don't want to just do a copy. You guys, I never totally understand the advertising portions of it. That's the thing. Those are the details that I have to do when I used to have DVR and I could rewind it. But the impression that I got was that, you guys need to think of something to compete with these eggs. You don't want to totally copy it because then you're going to be second best, and that's something that we don't, condone or whatever. And then they try to blame it on Joan, and Joan was like, okay, well, I told you guys about this idea before it came out, and you guys didn't seem to think it was a problem. So then they take this other meeting where I guess Joan talked to Don, and Don says something about something. So from what I gathered, they figured that they can put Macy's brand on the eggs, and that would differentiate them from the other egg company. So I think that they talked to Macy's or another department store brand as to get them into the idea of putting their name on the brand. All I took from the meeting was that they were some, juvenile sort of just men, gross men who say, gross comments, and they were having a field day making just inappropriate comments about spreading legs and Joan's breast and why she's not, doing brasiers, why she's not, in that market, and something about pears because this guy loves a pear. And yeah, they were just really sort of demeaning her. Peggy did good though, because Peggy was always trying to, take the flack away. Joan was good, but I totally felt like Joan was just about to go off on those boys, but she kept her composure and she kept it professional. I think I may have missed something, but then the next thing we see with Joan is that she went to a clothing store and she had herself a shopping spree, honey. Okay, and yay, Joan. Look, your partner now, you're making a hell of a lot of money. So start to enjoy that. I think that she did this I think she did the shopping thing, to sort of start to try to embrace a new her. Because apparently it was a place that she used to work at, after did she quit? Yeah, she got married and then she quit, the advertising firm, and then she was working there. And so the girl was like, didn't you used to work here? And she was like, no, you must have me mistaken with somebody else. So I think that we're going to see a whole new Joan this season. I'm trying to save Don for last, but the only other one is the accounts man. And how come I can't think of his name? We love him though. Kenny Cosgrove. Kenny Cosgrove. We love Kenny Cosgrove. We always have. And basically his father-in-law retired and cut off. So hopefully I can get through this thing. So Kenny Cosgrove, his father-in-law comes and they have dinner after his father-in-law leaves. His wife tells him, you know, you should think about retirement. My dad is so old, and you know he only has this limited amount of time to enjoy his life or whatever. And I don't want the same for you. You know, you hate advertising. You always complain. You know that you're a writer and that you really want to finish your novel. So why don't you just do that? And so she says that, and then he comes into work, and apparently they've told him that he has to give all his accounts to the guy that I like. What's his name? Pete? Is it Pete? I like Pete. Is it Pete? Because they didn't really do a lot with Pete last night. I think his name is Pete. But anyway, so, you know, he tells Don in this weird kind of, oh, it's so spooky. But, you know, my wife was saying that, and the very next day they tell me that I'm out of a job. So he's looking at it as a good thing, right? He talks to Pete while they're trying to, you know, he's trying to transfer all his accounts to Pete, and they're, you know, give him updates on everything, right? And then something changes, and that's another thing that I'm telling you, I don't get the details unless I watch it 1 or 2 times. But after that, Pete and Sterling are in a meeting, and Cosgrove comes in, and he tells them that he is the advertising something, the president or something of McCann something. And Pete and Sterling are like, oh, okay, well, you're our boss now. And Cosgrove says something about, no, you guys are my clients. So I guess we'll just have to see how that develops, because I didn't really get it. So basically, I guess Cosgrove is not going to retire, and that he has some sort of leverage on the company or something. And he seems happy about it. So, you know, I thought it was really funny when Pete and Cosgrove were talking, and Cosgrove was talking about his book, and Pete was like, oh, you should do something like action or something. I mean, imagine how awesome you would look on the jacket cover with this, whatever you call those, eye patch. So, yeah, Cosgrove, just happy to see him again. The only other story is Don Draper. And I think this is the chunk that I really missed. So, I kind of cheated because I was on Yahoo for a second, and they had an article about, you know, the main thing. So let's just do it like this, okay? So he's auditioning models for this fur company. They're about to do a fur commercial, and he's, you know, auditioning all these models. And at some point, Pete says, "Oh, you have another model is here," and the lady comes in. And he's like, Rachel. And she does her thing, and then she just leaves. And, okay, so from what I remember, it's Rachel from Minkin's Department Stores. That's the lady on the first season that he was, you know, cheating on Betty with. And she, you know, he was like, oh, let's run away together, blah, 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 blah. And she was just like, no, I can't do that. I have my life here. And, you know, you just can't run away from life. And then they ended up not, you know, seeing each other anymore. So I guess what he did was had his secretary call Rachel from Minkin's department store. And I guess that's when he found out that she had passed away. Because the next thing I saw was that he was at the funeral, and her sister was talking to him, and she knew all about him. And I guess the Rachel lady had kids and, you know, got married and everything. And yeah, so that was a little bit awkward. And I think before the funeral, actually earlier on in the episode, he went to this diner, and one of the waitresses, he was like, do I know you? And apparently he went back to that restaurant. I'm figuring this was after he found out that Rachel had died. And they, I'm guessing, had sex in the bathroom because when I came back, they were both coming out of the bathroom and he was all sweaty and she was, you know, fixing her hair and stuff. And she said something about, you got your $100 worth or whatever. So he goes to the funeral. At this point, him and Megan are going through a divorce. I wish I could have seen some Megan because I really, really love Megan and you guys know that. But I guess we'll see her later on. But anyway, he goes back to the diner. And the lady is like, you know, don't that only happened once. And she says something about, you know, I must remind you of somebody or whatever, but blah, blah, blah. This is a horrible recap. But I just had to do it because I just wanted to finish out this whole show. So that's all I remember from the show last night. So, yeah, it was a good one. I was just so happy to see them. You know, so happy to see the show again and see the characters and everything. So I just can't wait till next Sunday. And you know, like this video, comment please, share if you wanna, and subscribe to my channel. I am going to keep Mad Men consistent, especially since it's only like 5 more episodes, 5 to 7 more episodes. I could commit to 7 weeks. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later. Peace.